What happens if the manager won't give you the diamonds?
Cut off one of his fingers. The little one.
Hot damn. You want me to dive into Tarantino's blood-soaked carnival of criminal mayhem?
The Reservoir Dogs.
Hey, Joe.
Tarantino burst onto the scene in '92 like a rabid bat out of hell, delivering a film so raw it made hardened critics weep into their popcorn. A bunch of color-coded psychopaths sitting around debating Madonna while dressed like Mormon undertakers on acid.
You're under arrest, sugar.
Then, bang. The whole thing explodes into a paranoid fever dream of betrayal and ear-slicing set to the most disturbing soundtrack since Nixon's private tapes. The violence hits you like a wave of pure adrenaline. But it's the dialogue that really fries your synapses.
Let's go to work.
These criminals philosophize like Shakespeare on methamphetamines.
Want me to shoot this guy?
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Who cares what your name is?
Reservoir Dogs isn't just a movie. It's a hallucinogenic descent into the dark heart of American crime cinema, served with a side of gasoline and a match. Watch it, you cowards.
Bam.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go lie down in a dark room and contemplate the meaning of color-coded fashion choices in the criminal underworld.
Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Tierney, and Tim Roth. They're the Reservoir Dogs.
Hey, Joe.
Sweet Jesus. Let me tell you about the time Quentin Tarantino dropped a cinematic acid tab called Pulp Fiction and made the whole world trip balls for 2.5 hours.
A new film directed by Quentin Tarantino. Pulp Fiction.
This savage piece of filmmaking hit theaters in '94 like a briefcase full of divine light. The plot? Try following a plot when it's been through a wood chipper and reassembled by a mad genius hopped up on pop culture and foot fetishes.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal.
We're in a lot of danger.
The whole thing plays out like a jigsaw puzzle assembled by a maniac. Backwards, sideways, and possibly upside down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
1 minute you're laughing at a joke about hamburgers. The next you're witnessing the kind of violence that would make a Mexican cartel member need therapy. And somewhere in the middle, there's a gimp in a basement and a watch story that'll make you question everything you know about family heirlooms. The dialogue crackles like an electric chair during a power surge. And the soundtrack? Dear God, the soundtrack. It's like someone broke into American Bandstand, stole all the good records, and played them at gunpoint.
Come on, let's get in character.
Pulp Fiction is what happens when God gets bored and decides to let a cinematic madman loose with a camera, a typewriter, and enough creative cocaine to fuel a small South American revolution. Buy the ticket. Take the ride, you poor bastards. Just remember, it might be a pretty fucking good milkshake, but I still don't know if it's worth $5.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
Sweet Mother of Mercy. If you're looking for Tarantino going full throttle, you poor bastards have come to the wrong movie. And thank God for that.
Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown is what happens when someone slips Valium into the director's cocaine stash and forces him to slow down and actually tell a story.
Now, you gotta listen to this, man, because this concerns you, all right?
Pam Grier struts through this film like she owns every damn frame, playing a flight attendant who's smarter than everyone else in the room and knows it.
You got to be prepared to go all the way.
The whole thing plays out like a jazz concert in a crime scene. Smooth, sophisticated, and occasionally punctuated by someone shooting somebody.
AK-47. When you absolutely, positively got to kill every mother in the room, except no substitute.
Robert De Niro gets to do stuff to Bridget Fonda as she's smoking pot and making terrible life choices. Which, let's be honest, is exactly what I'm doing right now.
That was fun.
Yeah, I really hit the spot.
So if you're expecting Tarantino's usual ballet of blood and pop culture references, you're in for a surprise smoother than a vanilla milkshake, laced with Kentucky bourbon.
Pam Grier, Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Forster, Bridget Fonda, Michael Keaton, and Robert De Niro.
Is she dead? Yes or no? Is she dead?
Pretty much.
Jackie Brown is what happens when the mad doctor of cinema decides to make a love story for criminals. And by God, it works better than any prescription I've ever forged.
Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown.
So she ain't your girlfriend.
Is that what you thought? Well, I hope you felt appropriately guilty afterward.
Afterwards, I did.
Hot damn and sweet Jesus. Let me tell you about Kill Bill.
That woman deserves her revenge. And we deserve to die.
This is what happens when you give a foot fetishist unlimited fake blood and a license to kill. Dame got shot in the head at her own wedding and woke up madder than a bag of rattlesnakes in a dryer.
Don't you ever wake up.
Most people would file for divorce, but no. She decides to slice and dice her way through her ex-coworkers like a Ginsu knife infomercial gone horribly wrong.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
Get your ass ready for more spurting arteries than a medical school textbook. And every time someone gets stabbed, they release enough blood to fill a porn star's mouth.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you?
The whole thing plays out like a samurai film that's been dipped in LSD and set on fire. And the body count is somewhere between a small war and the Spanish flu.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Silly rabbit.
Drop whatever mind-altering substances you're currently on and watch it immediately. This isn't just a movie. It's a journey into the heart of revenge, and it's beating like a drum solo at a speed metal concert. Buy the ticket, take the ride, and get your ass ready for part 2.
Hard part's over. I've killed a hell of a lot of people to get to this point, and I am gonna kill Bill.
Jesus H. Christ. If Volume 1 was a mescaline-fueled rampage through a samurai dojo, Volume 2 is what happens when someone spikes your bourbon with Special K and makes you attend family therapy.
Before this tale of bloody revenge reaches its climax, there's a few unanswered questions.
Tarantino, that beautiful twisted bastard, decided to pump the brakes on the blood fountain and dive deep into the psychological abyss.
Pretty cool, huh?
Don't get me wrong, you savage creatures. There's still enough violence to make a boxing promoter blush. But this time around, it's like watching a snake slowly squeeze its prey while giving a lecture about the meaning of life. Uma Thurman's still on her revenge kick, but now she's doing it with the kind of emotional baggage that would make Freud reach for the hard stuff.
You and I have unfinished business.
Then there's David Carradine as Bill, delivering monologues like he's channeling some unholy combination of Confucius and Charles Manson.
I overreacted.
You overreacted?
Their final showdown isn't the bloodbath you'd expect. It's more like couples counseling with deadly consequences. The 5-point palm-exploding heart technique turns out to be more emotional than physical, which is saying something when you're talking about a move that makes your heart explode.
Hi, Mommy.
So it all suddenly seems so clear.
The whole thing plays out like a spaghetti western that's been dipped in existential crisis and garnished with kung fu. It's slower than its predecessor, but like good tequila, you don't slam it. You savor it while contemplating your life choices.
She must suffer to her last breath.
If Volume 1 was the cocaine, Volume 2 is the come-down. But what a glorious, twisted come-down it is. Watch it with your therapist if you dare. Just keep the antidepressants handy.
Pretty cool, huh?
I'm sorry.
This car is 100% death-proof. Only to get the benefit of it, honey, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
All right, you twisted film freaks. Buckle up for a ride through Tarantino's celluloid nightmare.
Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof.
This ain't your grandma's Sunday matinee unless Granny's into psychotic stuntmen and high-octane vehicular mayhem. Kurt Russell, looking like a washed-up Elvis impersonator with a death wish, terrorizing babes in a muscle car beefier than Arnold Schwarzenegger on a steroid bender.
He's got style.
Do I frighten you? Is it my scar? It's your car.
It's a greasy, beer-soaked love letter to B-movies so sleazy it'll make you want to take a shower with steel wool. 1 minute you're drowning in dialogue sharper than a snake bite. The next, you're white-knuckling through car chases that'll have your adrenal glands screaming for mercy.
Let's kill this bastard.
Is it feminist? Is it exploitation? Who the hell knows? It's a batshit crazy roller coaster that'll leave your brain feeling like it's been put through a blender and served with a twist of psychedelic lemon.
Ladies, that was fun!
So grab your popcorn, lace it with whatever illegal substance you've got handy, and strap in for a ride that'll make fear and loathing look like a church picnic. Just remember, in Tarantino's twisted universe, the only thing separating art from madness is a driver's license and a death wish.
He's got charm.
Is there anybody in this place you could vouch for to give me a ride home?
Fair lady, your chariot awaits.
Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof.
We're gonna be doing one thing and one thing only. Killing Nazis.
Hot damn, you beautiful degenerates. Let me tell you about Inglorious Bastards. Tarantino, that magnificent bastard, decided to take World War II, douse it in gasoline, and light it up with a mix of Jewish vengeance and Brad Pitt's attempt at speaking Italian that sounds like a drunk cowboy gargling marbles.
We in the killing Nazi business. And cousin, business is booming.
The plot? Jesus H. Christ. We've got a group of Nazi-hunting Jews led by Brad Pitt, who demands scalps like some deranged hairpiece collector, and a French-Jewish woman plotting revenge in a movie theater.
That's suicide.
What else we gonna do? Go home?
It's like someone threw The Dirty Dozen into a blender with a Holocaust documentary and sprinkled it with LSD. Then there's Christoph Waltz as Colonel Hans Landa, a Nazi so smoothly terrifying he could convince a rabbi to convert to fascism over strudel.
There's something you don't know. Hitler is attending the premiere.
The whole thing culminates in a theater full of Nazis getting what can only be described as the world's most explosive film criticism. Tarantino essentially rewrites World War II the way a drunk historian might after 8 shots of tequila and a fever dream about Hitler. The violence is exactly what you'd expect if you gave a Jewish revenge fantasy unlimited ammunition and a carte blanche for historical accuracy. It's beautiful, disturbing, and somehow hilarious. If I were a Jew, I'd cry. Now, buy the ticket, take the ride, and go get a girl her scalped Nazi skulls.
I'm gonna give you a little something you can't take off.
You're getting pretty good at that.
When I hear the trumpet sound,
What's your name?
I'm gonna rise right out of the ground.
Django. Then you're exactly the one I'm looking for.
Hot damn in Jesus Christ. I've just emerged from 3 hours of pure cinematic mayhem that would make the Islamic Jihad look like a Sunday school picnic. Quentin Tarantino, that twisted bastard, has done it again with a film so gorgeously deranged it makes natural-born killers feel like Mary Poppins.
You kill people, and they give you a reward.
Badder they are, bigger the reward.
A dentist-turned-mercenary and a freed slave hunting white supremacists for cash. If that's not the American dream, I don't know what is. And then there's Leonardo DiCaprio, playing this plantation-owning sociopath who's about as stable as a 3-legged chair in an earthquake.
Yes!
The scene where he smashes his hand on the dinner table, real blood, or so they say, The kind of method acting that would make Brando reach for the butter.
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Blood sprays across pristine white cotton fields like abstract art. Heads explode. Bodies cartwheel through the air in slow motion. Beautiful madness that makes you question your own sanity for enjoying it so much. But here's the real kicker. Beneath all this mayhem is a love story.
They caught my wife, and they sold her, but I don't know who to.
It's like Romeo and Juliet, if Shakespeare had access to dynamite and a bottomless supply of ammunition. When the final showdown comes, it's pure, uncut chaos.
How do you like the bounty hunting business?
Is it a masterpiece? Let's say the only thing going against it is almost any other movie by the same director. Is it for everyone? About as much as Special K, mixed with bourbon, is for everyone.
Kill white folks and they pay you for it? What's not to like? I like the way you die, boy.
But hot damn, what a ride. Buy the ticket, take the ride, just leave your political correctness at the door. This stuff is raw. Now pass the whiskey. I need to steady my nerves.
What's your name?
Django.
The D is silent.
Sweet Jesus, what a strange trip this is. Tarantino's The Hateful Eight hit me like a shot of pure ether in a blizzard. Here's a film so claustrophobic it makes the trunk of my Chevrolet feel like the Grand Canyon.
Get in, boys!
3 hours trapped in a cabin with 8 degenerates? Good God, man. Pass the liquor. This beast crawls slower than a 3-legged rattlesnake in molasses.
One of them fellas is not what he says he is.
Tarantino, that magnificent bastard, usually hits you with plot twists faster than a Vegas cocktail waitress with speed. But here, he's drawing it out, like a dentist who gets paid by the hour.
Move a little strange, you're gonna get a bullet. Not a warning, not a question.
The dialogue? It's there. All right, great thundering waves of it, crashing against your skull until you start wondering if someone slipped something in your popcorn. The violence.
Now we're talking!
When it finally explodes, is like watching a Mexican standoff in a meat grinder. Blood sprays across the wooden walls like abstract art, and heads pop like overripe melons at a Hell's Angels garden party.
A bullet.
But until that happens, it's all foreplay. Just 8 human scorpions in a frozen bottle, waiting to sting.
She's wanted dead or alive for murder. When that sun comes out, I'm taking this woman to hang.
Sometimes it feels like it should have been a theater play, and then you ask yourself why bother shooting the damn thing in 70 millimeters, and get a genius like Ennio Morricone for the soundtrack. But still, the only real thing against this flick is 9 better ones by the same director. Buy the ticket, take the ride. Just bring a warm coat and something stronger than coffee. Now, where did I put that whiskey?
When the handbill says dead or alive, the rest of us just shoot you in the back, come up on top of perch somewhere and bring you in dead over saddle. But when John Roof the hangman catches you, you hang.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut? Damn you Nazi bastards!
Hot Christ. A 3-hour acid trip through 1969 Hollywood that feels like someone dropped peyote into the water supply at a Universal Studios backlot. The damn thing is longer than most bad marriages I've witnessed, but twice as entertaining. Here's what happens, more or less.
I'm Rick Dalton.
Leonardo DiCaprio plays a booze-soaked has-been who cries more than a lesbian at a Big Johnson's convention.
embarrass yourself like that in front of all those goddamn people.
While Brad Pitt cruises around Los Angeles in a cream-colored Cadillac like some kind of sun-baked Zen warrior who probably keeps a rattlesnake in his glove compartment.
Me an actor?
No, I'm a stuntman.
The whole thing meanders like a drunk trying to find his car keys. There's a sequence about feeding a dog that feels longer than the Vietnam War. Tarantino, that magnificent bastard, has created a movie that's either a masterpiece or a sign that Hollywood's water supply is tainted with premium-grade hallucinogens. Maybe both.
I'm Sharon Tate. I'm in the movie. You're in this?
The critics are divided faster than a hippie commune discovering their mushroom supply has gone bad. Some praise it like it's the second coming of Citizen Kane. Others act like Tarantino personally broke into their homes and replaced all their furniture with cardboard cutouts of feet.
All right, what's the matter, partner? It's official, old buddy. Well, it has been.
Jesus. The Bruce Lee scene caused more controversy than that time Clinton did not have sex with that woman. But that's Tarantino for you. Subtle as a chainsaw in a library.
Charlie's gonna dig you.
And that gospel group
The ending? Pure madness. The kind of violence that makes you wonder if your popcorn was laced with something illegal in 48 states.
I love that stuff, you know, with the killing.
A lot of killing.
It's beautiful, terrible, and completely insane. Like watching the Summer of Love having a bare-knuckle fistfight with Charles Manson, while God himself keeps score. Buy the ticket, take the ride, but for God's sake bring better drugs than I did.
In this town, that can all change like that.